why do you want to glow up? And I mean, I get it. It's a new year and everyone's talking about new me and all of that. And I've definitely been there myself. I remember writing my journal back in May of 2020 before going into my last year of college. I wrote, in the fall, I'm come back, glowed up compared to this past year, freshman year. Gonna have new confidence and BDE as president. Put on some more size, and then cut down to lean with double underline levels. Gonna be well dressed and well spoken, outgoing, cleared up skin. I wrote a lot about what I was gonna do to glow up, but I didn't ask myself why. And I'm wondering if anyone else is asking you either. Because it seems like such an, I guess, no-brainer, right? Like, why bother asking, why do you want to glow up? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to have clear skin, be well dressed and well spoken, confident, all that? And I mean, I get it. I don't disagree. Those are all great. But when I realized through my own experience, which I definitely didn't at the time I wrote that entry, was that there's something deeper at play that I wasn't even conscious of at the time. There was an inkling, though, you know, because at the bottom of that entry, I wrote, they're going to regret not having me. They. So when I got back to college, a handful months later, I started to see an on and off crush of mine again, and things were great. I felt like everything was falling into place. I could go into my last year of college and really ride off into the sunset. Not only have I glowed up, but now I got the girl, right? Well, as the story goes, did not work out. And that that broke me. I was distraught. I spiraled. Because how could you tell me that despite all the glowing up I did, this person, this they, still didn't want to be with me? And I remember I was questioning like everything and anything, like trying to figure out some reason for why. Am I not attractive enough? Am I not confident enough? Am I not flirty enough? On and on and on. I didn't have an answer. But I did write a question 7 months later on November 30th when I wrote, why am I not enough? Right? Because despite glowing up in all these areas I described, I still found myself questioning them all the same when this person didn't want to be with me. But by asking that question, why, and I mean, I guess whether I wanted to or not, acknowledging that I didn't feel enough was the start of where the real transformation, the real glow up happened, if you want to call it that. Because instead of focusing on the exterior, right, this image, what you see, I started to go beneath the surface. I started to go from the outer to the inner. I started to question things, to peel back the layers, to be curious with myself and why I felt this way. And I realized, despite all of my wanting and pursuing of the glow up, there was that deeper underlying reason that was driving me, right? And I mean, I don't think you realize any of this stuff over time, but let's see, I wrote this in March of 2021, but anxiety comes from losing connection with the individual I'm using to meet my needs, as opposed to connecting with myself and meeting my own needs. I wasn't emotionally available or intimate with myself. That other person, that they, those days that were gonna regret not having me and all that, or wanting to be with me, I didn't realize it, but they were the key to my sense of worthiness, my enoughness, my wholeness. And when you're relying on someone else to make you feel worthy, to believe you're worthy and enough, what happens when that person goes away? They take that entire sense of worthiness with them, and you spiral, just like I did. And I have no reason, I don't have any idea or how I could explain how I just managed to start the inner journey. It really doesn't make any sense, but I'm grateful I did. Because so many people, they never get there. They never go beyond the exterior. They never go beyond the surface. I mean, shoot, the first time things didn't work out with my crush, I definitely didn't. All I did was I just fell into that same cycle, that same cycle pursuing the glow up, right? It's like, oh, if you didn't want me here, then, I mean, you've got to want me here, right? When I'm all glowed up and all of that. But all you do is perpetuate your own unworthiness. Because when is enough, right? When is enough? Because when you're relying on your enoughness for your enoughness, your worthiness, if you're depending on someone else to provide that for you, you're always going to be afraid, fearful in the back of your mind of the day that person might go. And there's so much pressure, there's so much expectation you put on yourself to maintain this appearance, this glow up, right? You know, it's like what happens if you got like some, I don't know, some pimples that pop up on your chin, or you gain some holiday weight, or you know, your barber messes up your haircut. Then all the thoughts come in racing right back, like, oh my gosh, like what's gonna happen? You know, are they still gonna want to be with me and all that? I mean, you may not be consciously thinking about it, but deep down, there's that pressure, that expectation. And so many people just spend their lives just chasing their own worthiness in the form of someone else. And they never really quite find it. They never quite realize that they're worthy, they're enough as they are. Because as much as I'm saying all this about glow up, external validation, and all of that, it's not your fault. It's not. At the end of the day, you're doing your absolute best. what you know, what you're aware of, and what your experiences are. And it took me the peeling back of all those layers, asking those whys, to realize that it wasn't my fault. Because from the time that we're young, I mean, come on, we're kids, right? We depend on our parents, we depend on those around us for everything, especially when it comes to making sense of our existence and this really confusing world around us that we've been born into. And when you're so dependent on others, which you are at a young age, but the messaging that you receive from parents, teachers, peers, society, the media, whatever, all of it is conditioning you with this message that, hey, glow up. Hey, you're not enough. You've got to do this, that, and that to be worthy, right? And so you do. You believe that your worthiness, your enoughness is conditional upon you doing certain things, looking a certain way, being a certain way, when in reality, you don't need any of that, right? Because when you're born, when you come into this world, I mean, I can't remember personally, but I'll bet you I was not insecure. I was not thinking about glowing up. I was not thinking about, am I attractive or am I not? Am I confident? Am I not? Because you are inherently worthy. You are inherently enough as you are, by being as you are. But the moment that you start to get all these inputs, these messaging, all these layers that get piled on top of you that make you believe that you're not enough, you're not worthy. And so what do? You polish those layers, right? That's what you're led to believe. Is everyone is telling you to glow up. Everyone's telling you how to glow up. But no one's asking you, why do you want to glow up? Why do you care so much about glowing up? No one asked me, but I'm asking you now. I'm not doing it, to criticize you or to put you down, but just to be curious and just have this conversation. Because when I think about it, when I think about my experience and just not even when it comes to glowing up, but just life in general the past few years, there were so many conversations that I had to have with myself about different areas of life that if someone had just taken an interest, a curiosity in me, and just asked me those simple questions like, why do you want to glow up? Why do you care about glowing up? Even if I didn't have an answer at the time, even if, which I probably would have, still pursued the glow up, that seed would have been planted in the back of my mind. Why? And as long as it's there, the experiences you have in life, they'll nurture that seed. And I believe, at least, sooner rather than later, things will start to crack, to fall apart a bit, just like they did for me. And you'll go from this outer journey into the inner. And that journey, that stripping back of all these layers of conditioning and all that, beneath all of those layers, all of that conditioning, you'll find your true self. You'll find your innate being. You'll find your innate worthiness and enoughness. And you don't need to do all this glowing up, this window dressing, really, to prove it. Because as you are, that's enough. And there's a big difference in life, how you go about your day to day. You come from a place of worthiness as opposed to not. You can do the same things, right? You can get the haircut, you can dress well, be well spoken, you can, you know, I don't know, exercise, whatever. But you do it from a place of love and care for yourself, to honor and respect this body or whatever you've been given. And that's that. You're not doing it so others will see you, so others will validate and affirm your worthiness, because you already are. And things can change, right? You can have the messed up haircut, you can have a bad skincare day, you can gain that holiday weight, you can break up with friends or partners, go through challenging and tough times. You'll be okay. Because you're not running around looking for your worthiness. You know you already are. And even if that's difficult to internalize right now, as we're having this conversation, you are enough. You are worthy. You don't have to glow up, do anything, be a certain way, or be anyone else other than as you are. Be worthy and enough. So, if you're in the process of glowing up or you want to glow up or all that, by all means, do it. I'm not telling you not to. I did it myself. It's your life to live, your decision to make. At the end of the day, I can say all these things, and someone could have said all these to me, but it really probably wouldn't have registered in my head. I wouldn't have had any answer or thought because I never thought about it before. And you need to come into that wisdom yourself. I only mention all this, I only ask the question, why do you care about glowing up? Just to plant the seed in hopes that one day, I know it will, it'll bring forth real transformation. And it starts from within, not out here. Because at the end of the day, all of your experiences in life, all of your external world is a reflection of your inner. So, with that, I appreciate you for taking the time to have this conversation, for listening. And if there's anything that I can do to support you or, address, if you have questions or anything, please let me know. I would be glad to. But until then, grateful for you, appreciate you. Have a lovely rest of your day.